There are cases where material has been found and analysed. Vladivostok, one of the former Soviet Union's key naval ports. Not far away lies what's claimed to be the site of the crash of an alien probe. The heavy metal works of the town are overlooked by the simply named Height 611. Witnesses observe the strange sphere fly towards the ridge. It rises and falls near the crest before crashing in flames.
It is red and orange. It changes colour at different times. When it is rising, it becomes brighter, and when it is falling, it gets darker. When it climbs, rays of light come out of it.
It happens on the 29th of January 1986. We see a strange object. It is bright yellow. It looks like the sun. It is travelling parallel to the ground. A single large beam of light comes out of it. Then it disappears over the hill.
I don't hear any explosion and I don't see any flash. Yet after it goes up and down several times, it vanishes over the hill.
A final question, what do you think it was? Any idea?
A UFO.
Subsequent searches find the impact site. Mysterious materials, balls, gauzes, netting are removed from the hillside. They remain in the hands of national science academies. Local scientists have only small samples. Over 3 years, they compile a 300-page study. Its author points to anomalous features of the case.
At the crash site, I found bits of magnetized flint and about 300 grams of different materials. After the crash at Height 611, there were many UFO sightings over Dalnegorsk. Discs, balloon shapes, single lights. It looked as though they were looking for something because they had searchlights. This searchlight was very interesting. It only lit up what it touched. It had no visible beam. Everything leads me to believe that this object was made by highly intelligent beings and was of extraterrestrial origin.
The metallic wreckage contains extraordinary levels of elements, purer than on Earth, he says. The net-like material is quartz insulation round gold wires, thinner than a human hair. What came from the sky is, he argues, not something made here, but part of the guidance system of an extraterrestrial probe. No other Russian researchers have published their findings or released any of the material.
A few miles away from Vladivostok, near the small mining town of Dalnegorsk, a UFO crashed on this hilltop in 1986. The site, known only by its height, Height 611, is littered with strange debris and is considered to be one of the most significant UFO locations in all of Russia.
The sphere was red, it was flying straight and then sharply fell down.
I saw a fiery balloon fly from this side and fall there on this knoll.
After that, a fire started. It burned for 1 hour.
The first person to reach the scene was biologist and Academy of Sciences Meteorite Commission member Valery Duzhilny.
Something was burning. This could have been a meteorite, but meteorites do not cause fires. When I climbed up to this place, the snow was deep. There I saw a place which left a great impression on me. There was no snow, it just evaporated. I saw the remains of a burnt tree and the remains of metallic spheres.
Samples of charred metal gathered at the site attracted nationwide attention. Analysis was done by Russia's most prestigious academies.
Whatever remained at the site itself had such unusual properties.
Paul Stonehill, head of the Russian Ufology Research Center headquartered in the United States, has examined many of the samples from Height 611.
The mesh itself had something very strange, very unusual, tiny filaments. And inside those filaments, quartz filaments, one could find yet other filaments or nettings, gold nettings, 7 microns thick. I mean, a human hair is 56 microns. Now, we have no technology to insert gold filaments of that size into quartz filaments. What they could be used for remains an enigma.
It's an enigma that continues to draw serious attention from Russia's top scientific researchers.
Their Academy of Sciences has had an ongoing public study of UFOs since the 1970s.
George Knapp is an investigative journalist. He is frustrated by the seeming lack of interest in UFOs by American academics.
Here, the people like Carl Sagan say, you can't study UFOs, there's nothing to study, there's no physical evidence. Well, that's baloney, and the Russians are proving that. Their Academy of Sciences, the most respected scientific organization in that nation, has been studying it for decades. They do what scientists are supposed to do. They take samples, they conduct experiments, they dig in the soil, they check for radiation, and they've come up with some fairly amazing results.
In the case of samples collected by scientists at Height 611, the results are startling.
It could very well be physical evidence of an extraterrestrial origin. That was the conclusion of the initial scientific team that went to the site. There were strange alloys in there that couldn't be readily identified, rare earth metals in combinations that have never been seen of a natural origin.
Here we can see the results of our tests. The sample contains elements such as lanthanum, nickel, and some others. But most importantly, it contains the elements promethium. The element promethium is artificial. It cannot be found on the Earth.
Human subject testing also took place. In a controlled study, physicians and medical researchers examined those who had worked at Height 611 in the days following the UFO incident.
Samples of blood pressure and pulse were taken. For the group that went to the top of Height 611, the number of red blood cells, the differential blood count was altered, and the amount of elements in the blood rose. In the meantime, the control group's blood tests stayed normal. I believe that either alien machinery or a spaceship fell down and crashed. I think that otherwise it cannot be explained.
Doctors and researchers inside Russia continue their investigation, while a handful of American experts are still having difficulty convincing our own scientists of the importance of Height 611.
Height 611 is extremely important to pay attention to. I'm glad that somebody actually went to that Height 611 and brought out the information, because the heights we could reach with that information are still unknown to us.